Yo, I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. In this video, we're going to be going over a quick walkthrough of the Starstone Barrows and Amrine Expedition mashup. This includes when you need to switch gear between your ancient gear and your lost gear, because there are a couple of times in the expedition where you're going to be fighting a lot of ancient mobs and then a lot of lost mobs. So I'll show you exactly when you need to switch gear, and we're just going to go over some of the boss mechanics and just the overall expedition as a whole. So let's jump right in here. So the Starstone Barrows Amrine mashup is an expedition New World that's only available as a mutated version. It's an in-game expedition, and you have to complete the base version of Starstone Barrows before you can access the mutated version. So again, as we mentioned before, this contains both ancient and lost enemies, so you're going to need to bring gear for both. So you're also going to need to have like your infused coatings, etc. Everything you need to fight both of these mob types would be wise to bring to complete this expedition or to complete this mutation. So in order to enter this mutation, you have to enter it through the Starstone Barrows entrance, or of course you can use the expedition group finder. Once you're inside of the expedition, the first set of enemies are going to be ancient, so make sure you're properly equipped with your ancient gear, coatings, etc. whenever you first start the mutation. So once you begin, you're going to need to clear ancient trash mobs, much like the beginning of Starstone Barrows, and then your first encounter is going to be a named mob, Centimus. He doesn't have any heavy mechanics, but he does deal a decent amount of damage. He has a few trash mobs around him, so once he's defeated, you then just use your Azov staff and go through the door to progress. So here you're going to encounter your first lasers. Don't get hit by the lasers or you will die on impact, just like you do in Starstone Barrows, so make sure you avoid those. If you go to the right, there is a star metal vein if you need that, but in order to progress the dungeon, you need to hook a left and go under the 3 horizontal lasers. So after you make your way through the hallway, you are then going to encounter the infamous laser puzzle that you see in Starstone Barrows. It's exactly like it, but we'll go over it here in this video as well, just to jog your memory. Once you make it into the laser room, you're going to go immediately left under the first laser. You can go to the right down the little ledge, or just roll down the stairs like we did here. The next laser, you just avoid it all the way to the edge, then you get to the ledge and jump over the gap up onto the next platform, and then you can progress forward under the next laser. There's another little ledge over to the right there, walk across that little bridge, and then under the 3 horizontal lasers to the last one. The last laser here is a variable speed laser, so make sure you don't get hit by that. It'll go up and down at different speeds, and also be careful of this archer. He can knock you back into that laser if you're not careful. You're going to want to make sure you take out this archer here, and then you're going to climb up on the platform, and then you're just going to jump right across over to the other side. Once you're over here on the other side, someone's going to need to continue to go over to the other side by jumping across the little platform or the little stone ledge there over to the other side. Make sure that you're careful though, because there are some ads over here that do hit pretty hard, so you may want to take just a couple people if one person doesn't feel comfortable making their way over here by themselves. But the reason you have to send somebody over here so that they can grab the staff that has the bubble that allows your team to progress through the remaining lasers. As you can see here, Red's already got the staff, so we can walk through freely through the lasers and then through this next set of 3 horizontal lasers down the hallway to continue on with the expedition. The next area of the expedition is going to be called the amphitheater. Once you're inside the amphitheater, you're going to turn left to see a grand staircase with several ancients. In this pack of mobs, there's an elite mini boss named Lone. Lone is wielding a scimitar sword and has just a lot of mobility. So you're going to kill Lone and kill the mobs, and then move up the stairs around the corner to the right or to the north. Here you're going to see another big pack of ancient mobs with another elite mini boss named Aaron. Aaron is an ancient with a spear and a shield. You're going to down all these mobs and then open the ancient Azov sill and head into the shattered obelisk. Once you're inside the shattered obelisk, you're going to need to clear several trash mobs. Once you clear the trash mobs, this is where the mashup part of the expedition begins. There's going to be a bridge off the edge to the south that's going to lead you to the first boss fight, which is Simon Gray. This is where you're going to want to switch gear sets. From this point, you're going to be fighting some lost mob for a little while, and then later on in the expedition, you're going to switch back to some ancient gear. But for now, you want to switch to your lost gear. So Simon Gray has the same abilities he does in Starstone, only they're amplified. So he vomits, and whenever he vomits, it's like AoE poison that spews out onto nearby players. And then he has a charge, so he'll charge nearby players and knock them down and deal damage. He also spawns in waves of 3 lost excavation workers. This is probably his main mechanic. These workers can drink the vomit of Simon Gray, and then they become empowered and do more damage. Also, you want to make sure you kill the ads before Simon Gray eats them or devours them or whatever, because he also becomes stronger and starts to deal out more damage if you don't kill them fast enough. stuff. So it's kind of like a DPS check. You want to make sure you manage the ads, or else he'll consume them and then do a lot of damage to you. So once the ads are taken care of, you should then focus all the damage back onto Simon, and then continue this pattern until he is defeated. Then after he's defeated, you're going to continue clearing the lost mobs, and then there's a small crate in the hallway as you progress. This is going to give you the candle you need to activate the next boss fight, so make sure you pick that up. The next boss fight is Foreman Nakashima. It's very soon after you fight Simon. So in order to spawn in Foreman Nakashima, you're going to need to activate the pillar in the middle of the room with the candle that you picked up out of that crate. Foreman Nakashima has two main mechanics that you really need to be aware of. They're spectral waves, we call them. So Nakashima spawns a wall of spectral images with gaps in them. So you got to be outside of the waves or dodge into the gaps to avoid the damage. It does quite a lot of damage. Then there's a slow circle. So Nakashima targets a random player with a purple AoE that causes a reduction in movement speed, and it leaves the players vulnerable to those big spectral waves. So if the player tries to leave the circle and touches the white edge, they're going to get stunned. So these two mechanics can combine for some pretty deadly damage. They do hit pretty hard. So make sure aware of your positioning, and if you're targeted, stay inside the circle and try to avoid the spectral waves. So you can try to jump or dodge out of the circle, but this is most likely going to lead you to being stunned. So it's easier just to try to survive inside of it. So after the boss is taken down, a door is going to open to the west. You can continue to clear lost mobs and make your way back into the Shattered Obelisk. Once you're back into the Shattered Obelisk, you're going to encounter another named lost mob, Frozen Forest. So this part is very important as well. So before you continue over this bridge here, you're going to make sure to switch your gear back to ancient gear, because as soon as you cross back over this bridge, it's going to be ancient gear for a little while. So switch over from your lost mob to your ancient gear before you cross back over this bridge. On the other side of the bridge, there's going to be a named Ancient Sengarian. So after he's taken out, you're going to need to obtain the bubble to get through the lasers. From here, you go up the stairs and to the left side. You're going to activate the switch, which will deactivate the lasers, and then head back down the stairs from where you came. Then you're going to head right into the area of mobs, and here you're going to encounter another named who's called Safety Officer Richards. You're going to continue up the stairs to another named Electos the Relentless, and then this mob is much like the mini boss in Lazarus. The most notable mechanic here is that he has a one-shot AoE mechanic where he'll spin the staff above his head and then slam it on the ground, sending out the shockwave that deals massive damage. So you're either going to need to save your CC for that ability, or dodge through the wave if you can't CC him. So after killing this boss, you're going to make sure the party member that obtained the obelisk key interacts with the obelisk before proceeding, and then head down the stairs to the north. Here, you're going to continue to clear trash mobs until you reach the antechamber. The antechamber, you're going to encounter several ancient trash mobs and then one named lost enemy, Burnt Becca. So here, this is a little bit interesting because you're in a room with one lost boss or mini boss with a lot of ancient ads. So I would advise that you just keep your ancient gear on, you burn down the trash mobs quickly, and then your entire group can focus down Burnt Becca. From here, you can open the door to the final boss fight. This is Grundgol the Regent. If you remember your runs from Starstone Barrows, the same exact mechanics apply here as well. He has a cleave where he slams his greatsword into the ground, and then he has bones that he throws into the ground that spawned in ancient ads. So that's wave one. So his first phase is pretty simple. You just need to DPS him and clear the bones as he spawns them in, and then you're going to always clear the bones first because that's what spawns in the ads. Then once you kill Grundgol, his second phase will begin. So he'll kind of rise back up. So now he's going to start leaping around the room, creating a shockwave from where he lands, creating massive AoE damage. So if you stack on top of each other, he's going to leap down in the same spot each time. Just make sure every time he leaps down to dodge out of the shockwave, and then continue to DPS. So after several leaps, he's going to then stop leaping, and he's going to spawn in some bones. Make sure you kill the bones and then kill the ads just like you did before. Then he's going to go back into the leaping phase, and you just kind of rinse and repeat this until you've completed the entire mashup. So that's going to do it for this one, boys and girls. That's the Amrine Starstone mashup. What do you guys think about this expedition? Do you like that they mashed up these two versions of the low-level expedition to create one expedition? Or would you have rather have seen one Amrine, one Starstone separated? Or do you like this? I personally think it's pretty cool. I like it. I think an Amrine expedition by itself would have been kind of bland. I don't think it would have been that great. So I enjoy the mashup. I think it's fun. It's a good time. But that'll do it. Also, keep in mind, I know this was quick. We skipped around a little bit, but Amrine and Starstone, we've all ran them a whole bunch of times. Most of us know all the mechanics. I just wanted to give you a glimpse as to what it was and just kind of prepare you as to when you needed to switch gear, and just give you an overview of the expedition. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. We have a ton more content coming, and like I mentioned before at the beginning of the video, we have the drops for Starstone coming as well, or for the Starstone Amrine mashup coming as well. We'll post a video on that pretty soon. But that'll do it for this one, boys and girls. Oh, and if you enjoy live content, make sure to come check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/BDLG. I'm there every Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. CST. Would love to have you over there. We can talk about all kinds of stuff. Have a good time. But I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you have a good one. We'll see you in the next one.